Eric Trump was on Patrick Bet David today, and Patrick Bet had asked him, "What do you think your father's biggest legacy will be?" And there's so many. But I thought, and I forget what he said, but I thought, in my opinion, his biggest legacy would be his children. I mean, his children are so down to earth, good hearted, not snobby rich kid brats. Don Jr. I mean, all seem like just easygoing people. Like it's hard. And he referred to his dad as a billionaire. What did he say? He was like a modern, a regular modern day billionaire. The way he relates to the people, and his children are that way too. Yet any of them, it just seems like they're just the easiest going people to talk to. Whenever you listen to Don Jr. or Eric Trump, I mean, they're just such good people. Good people. And you can tell they have such good hearts. And then Eric Trump's wife, Lara, just good people. And yet, so that says so much about the kind of father that Donald Trump is. And they were even talking about, because a lot of times Hunter Biden comes up in that, because look at the difference. And Eric Trump was saying, I guess it's been floated out there to pardon. Trump would maybe pardon Hunter Biden. And Eric Trump said, I think he should. I think it said something along those lines, and I kind of do too, because I've all along I felt bad for Hunter Biden. I mean, I know, because he's been just a bag boy for his old man, and he has this drug addiction problem, and it's not like, his dad just used him to be his money bag guy. Never really. Not being brought up in any kind of good home. And I'm not saying that should wipe away the things he was involved in, but I have, and I've heard other people say they feel bad for Hunter Biden, because it's like he never really stood a chance in that family. But then look at the difference, and then for Eric Trump to say that he would, because they're a good family. They're not looking to just put everybody in jail, or because look at Trump could have done that. He said that even on Rogan today, that he could have put Hillary Clinton in jail. He said, but it wouldn't have looked good. It wouldn't have looked good for our country. And then yet they say that Trump's going to do all this stuff, but they've been the ones doing it to him. So, although I don't think everybody should get a pass, I think that Hunter Biden wasn't really given much of a good chance in life. But anyway, but I think that's Trump's greatest legacy. I mean, I think he has more than one for sure, being what he's done for the country. But all I could think, the first thing that came to my mind listening to this interview with Eric Trump, is that no, it's his children. They are his greatest legacy, because they're all such down to earth people, and yet they too are billionaires. You just don't find billionaires, not that I know any, but that are that down to earth. I mean, Don Jr. seems like somebody you totally could just hang out with, and have. You wouldn't feel like there's that difference, like, oh, I'm with a billionaire, And the same with Eric Trump. I mean, he's just a lovely man. But they all the children are. And Barron too. It's just, I think, I mean, I know that Trump could have a lot of legacies with his whole life and what he's done for the country, but his family is far, no doubt, the greatest, because he raised them and he made them. Eric Trump said they all had to work to get. He said we weren't just handed the company. He said at 14 I was out having to do brickwork, do concrete work, and he said he had to he was really put to the test by the contractors, like, get in there, go do it, and that's what his dad wanted. He said no, you got to earn your way like everybody else. So I think that's why they have that down-to-earth attitude. It was never a given, put it that way. He said it was never a given that you're going to get the company or you're going to have to go up the ranks like everybody else. And so, he said we worked for it. And he said that at the, right before they came down the elevator to announce in 2015, that he was going to be running for president. Trump, all the family was in the office, and Trump said, "We're about to find out who our real friends are." And I don't think Ivanka's going to take much of a role in the next presidential administration. I think it was the hardest on her, all the hit attacks. Which I could understand that. I mean, if you look at it from their perspective, seeing, their father and, I mean, especially after the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago and turned Melania's room upside down and raided Barron's room. I mean, how ridiculous. Yet, just shows what trash the FBI is. But Eric Trump was saying that he's just numb to it now. He's numb to the attacks. He says he sees it as endearing. And he joked about how he's like, here I run this billion dollar company, get on a plane. And he said none of them really sleep a whole lot. I think that's in their genetics. So he was saying, run this billion dollar company because my dad's a president, so I'm running it, and doing all of that, then getting on a plane, going to do rallies or speeches here and there, and he says, and I love it, and he goes, and then Saturday Night Live, does a skit and shows me, just sitting on the floor Indian style playing with a fidget spinner. That's what they show Eric Trump as. And he says you almost just at some point take it as endearing, because that, well, it's getting to them. But they're just good people, I mean, so that says a lot about who Donald Trump is. His children and who they are says a lot about who he is. So although in the end Donald Trump will have many legacies like no other leader, I think by far the greatest legacy he has is what he instilled in his children.